Super Mario Maker, a very interesting series, the game that allows you to create anything you can actually think of in 2D levels or even 3D levels that are 2D levels. This is honestly really awesome. Now you might be asking, when's the next one going to be coming? Well, from all the rumors and leaks about this game, we have a potential idea on when this could be coming out. This video was brought to you by a subscriber actually. It was his idea, so I thought I should shout him out. If you have any ideas, consider to drop them down in the comment section down below. Consider hitting that subscribe button if you really want to. Back to the video. So if we were to take a look at it real quick, you've probably heard about the rumors of a Super Mario 3D Maker. Although this would be absolutely fantastic being able to make a 3D level. Something that would be very similar to the 3D games like 3D Land and 3D World. I'm not talking about a full-blown 3D maker that you can make an open world Mario game, but in fact something linear like the 3D games. That would honestly be fantastic for the next Super Mario Maker. Because if you really look at it, we already have 2 of the 2D games, and honestly, 2 might be good enough when you really look at it just now. Because imagine that. Imagine what the community can cook up with a 3D level-based system. I already did enjoy the 3D Land and 3D World. Those games were absolutely fantastic, and if you gave the community the blocks and builds to make whatever they want, levels would be honestly so special that you really could think about it. Now that we know that the next 3D Mario seems to be a 3D open world, wouldn't that make sense if you had the abilities to make the next 3D Mario game? Kind of like the game from Super Mario 3D Country. Although Nintendo won't be making this, potentially you'll be able to make it yourself, which definitely would be awesome. If you don't know what I'm talking about, Super Mario 3D Country is this fan's new 3D Mario idea. It honestly is pretty fantastic. If you look at Donkey Kong Country, well, potentially something similar to that. Overall, all of these things aside, definitely make for a very interesting Mario game. The reason why I believe it's not going to be like a 2D level based system is if you look at it, Super Mario Maker 1 and Super Mario Maker 2 are very similar games. The story is pretty similar, the gameplay is pretty similar, everything associated to them are really similar games. Besides, honestly, this might be controversial, but I did enjoy Super Mario Maker 1 a little bit more than I did 2. Because the reason why I love 1 so much is the fact that you're able to take your amiibo and quite literally transform to any single character that you can think of. If you have a Link amiibo, you can be Link. If you have a Pikachu amiibo, you could be Pikachu. Same thing goes with Kirby, same thing goes with Sonic, same thing goes with every single amiibo that you can really think of. It honestly was a fantastic idea from the developers of this game. So honestly, if they wanted to, this would be awesome in the next Super Mario Maker 3 game. You really wonder, why did Nintendo not use this exact idea in Super Mario Maker 2? Although we did get a free update that when you pull the Master Sword, you do become Link that shoots beams and things. Originally what I guess Nintendo wanted the Adventures of Link to be, essentially 2D Mario. But now, you really look at it, and it would have been great to see all the amiibo characters return. So honestly, there's not really much that they can add to this game. Of course, they could add Super Mario Bros. Wonder levels. Being able to use Wonder Flowers and customization and things like that to your own level would definitely be really cool. Because then it allows you to quite literally turn everything into whatever you want. If you want to have a Wonder Flower effect that spawns in giant mushrooms and giant Bowsers, I guess that could work in some ways. If you wanted to have a Wonder Flower effect that turns everything into lava, that would be another idea. But honestly, don't you think that 3D Maker would be cool as well? Because I always wanted to know, what can the community do with 3D level designs? Honestly, it is definitely really interesting. Even back in the day with the 3DS, I was so in wow. This game actually is amazing. Being able to have one platform, next platform there, having like the jump ones, the one that you jump and then the platform kind of changes. I honestly love those levels. And it would honestly be a really easy concept. Imagine that. You just start up in the air and it's kind of like Super Mario Maker. You can start off in some plain lands or whatever the case may be. And then you can just add to it and shape the camera angle. I guess it kind of would be a little bit difficult to code, but if anyone's going to code something like this, Nintendo is the one that is going to give us a game truly special. I honestly believe that this is the perfect idea for the next Super Mario Maker game. Now, when exactly could this release? In 2027, we know that this is going to be jam-packed. In fact, we are going to be getting the next 3D Mario. If you looked at what Nate the Hate said, originally this game was going to be releasing in 2026, but got delayed to 2027. It does make sense. 10 years since the last one, which is definitely really crazy. So we could probably assume that the next 3D Maker, or Mario Maker, whatever the case game is going to be called, could be released a little bit later. Maybe 2 years after the next 3D Mario. That definitely does make sense in some ways, but also there was some rumors about seeing a reborn version of Super Mario 64. Honestly, they could probably do 1 year, the next year, and they'll probably figure it out at some point. But this is exactly what it seems like the next Super Mario Maker game is going to be. It's either going to be a 3D Maker environment, whatever you want, there you go. If you want to have Bowsers all over the place, you have Bowsers. If you want to have those blue and red squares full of levels and things, you can do that as well. It would be completely your journey and your opportunity. If you looked at other games that Nintendo has allowed you to fully use your imagination to create anything you want, it seems like potentially Nintendo is heading into that direction. Just look at the Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom. That's a game, that a Legend of Zelda game, you wouldn't necessarily think, maybe we can do this. We can make a boat, we can make a plane. But here you are. You can make whatever you want. You want to make a yacht, you want to make a skyscraper, you want to make a giant plane or something like that. There you go. It's completely up to you. So I honestly believe that if it's going to happen, it's probably going to happen. But also, 2D Maker could also happen with the Mario Wonder level. Potentially that could be a Nintendo Switch 2 edition. Who knows? But also, I guess it would take a lot of time and coding between those two. So who knows what's going to be happening. What are your thoughts on this? Do you think that the next Mario Maker is going to be Super Mario Maker, which the Super was the 2D Mario Maker, or do you think it's going to be a 3D level-based Mario Maker game? Honestly think, no matter which way they take this, it would honestly make sense, because with these two, you got 3D Land and 3D World. Potentially you can have some things like Odyssey where you can throw Cappy across the room and there you go. And maybe you can even add your own physics and designs, and however this would work, it would truly be the custom way to play a Mario experience. Because I honestly love custom levels. If you've ever tried downloading some sort of like a ROM hack, some of them are actually really good, like the mods and things that people have done throughout the years. Man, some of them are actually insane. So yeah, I definitely think that this would be actually amazing. 3D Mario, the next Super Mario Maker, whatever the case may be, it's most likely releasing, I'm going to say it, 2029. Thoughts? 29? Maybe? Who knows? Anyways, let me know in the comments section down below on what you thought about the next 3D Mario Maker. It's really interesting. Mario Maker 3, Mario Maker 3D, who knows? Maybe that's exactly it. Mario Maker 3D. Got it. Anyways, thank you so much for watching. See you in the next one.